When Ben Sheppard walked onto the NBA draft stage, almost nobody in the arena believed this skinny kid from Belmont University would make any real impact. The cameras were there, the fans were cheering, but in the middle of all the flashing lights, you could feel the silence. A silence that came from doubt. Because for so many people, Ben wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't from a basketball powerhouse school. He wasn't the viral mixtape star who had been hyped since high school. He wasn't even a first option in the conversations about future stars. He was the kid scouts overlooked, the name that rarely trended, the player who slipped under the radar until it was too late for anyone to ignore him. That night, when his name was called, it shocked more people than it inspired. Social media lit up instantly with comments asking, "Who is Ben Sheppard?" His story wasn't one of highlight reels or overhyped recruitment. It was a story of patience, quiet grind, and proving people wrong one step at a time. And in today's NBA, where stars are often built off Instagram clips before they even play a game, Ben's path was different. It was raw, it was painful, and it was real. Ben Sheppard grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where basketball dreams are as common as traffic jams on the I-285. But while many kids dreamed of being the next superstar, Ben's journey started quietly. He didn't dominate AAU tournaments the way scouts wanted. He didn't get ranked as a top prospect. In fact, there were moments when it looked like his basketball career might not go anywhere at all. Coaches respected his effort, but effort doesn't always get you noticed in a world obsessed with flash. But Ben carried something most people didn't see, a stubborn belief that he belonged. He wasn't loud about it, he wasn't dramatic about it, but he carried it in his work. Every day he practiced longer, ran harder, and He'd studied more film than the players around him. He wasn't chasing attention. He was building something deeper. When it came time for college offers, Ben didn't have the luxury of choosing between Duke, Kentucky, or North Carolina. Instead, his chance came from Belmont University, a mid-major program in Nashville. For many players, that would feel like settling. But for Ben, it was everything. Belmont was his opportunity, his stage, his chance to prove that you don't need a blue blood program to create a legacy. The beginning wasn't easy. As a freshman, he wasn't the star. He wasn't even close. He played limited minutes, often coming off the bench, watching upperclassmen get the spotlight. Many players in his position would have transferred. Many would have given up. But Ben stayed. He studied. He worked on the little things. His defense, his shooting form, his decision-making. All the things that don't always make headlines, but win games. By his junior and senior years, everything changed. Ben had gone from a quiet role player to Belmont's leader, averaging over 18 points per game, hitting clutch shots, and locking down opponents on defense. He became the kind of player coaches dream about. Reliable, tough, unselfish, and smart. Belmont didn't just have a star, they had a leader who carried the weight of the program on his shoulders. But even then, scouts weren't convinced. The NBA draft is brutal to mid-major players. The narrative always favors the big schools, the big names, and the players who already have a spotlight. When Ben declared for the draft, many experts didn't even project him to be picked, but that doubt only fueled him. He went into workouts with a fire that teams couldn't ignore. Every scrimmage, every drill, every interview, he showed them he wasn't just another name on a list. He was someone ready to fight for a spot in the league. And then Indiana Pacers made their move. With the 26th pick in the first round of the 2023 NBA draft, they called his name. And just like that, the world had no choice but to learn who Ben Sheppard was. For the Pacers, the pick wasn't about hype. It was about culture. Indiana has always been a franchise that values toughness, hard work, and players who fit into a team-first system. Ben Sheppard checked all of those boxes. He wasn't drafted to be a highlight star. He was drafted to be a difference maker, someone who could defend, space the floor, and play with intensity every single night. His rookie season wasn't about scoring 30 points or breaking records. It was about earning respect. He stepped onto the court knowing that everything he did would be watched closely. Every shot, every turnover, every defensive possession. And he responded the only way he knew how, with effort. His hustle plays, his defensive stops, his ability to stay ready no matter how many minutes he got, all of it showed that he wasn't going to fade away like so many late first-round picks. The Pacers fan base noticed. In a league where fans often crave stars, Indiana embraced Sheppard's grit. They saw a rookie who dove for loose balls, who played defense like it was his last chance, who celebrated teammates' successes louder than his own. And slowly, the narrative began to shift. This wasn't just another mid-major kid, this was someone who belonged. But what made Ben's story even more powerful was the timing. The Pacers were building something special with Tyrese Halliburton as their leader. They needed players who could complement him, players who could bring balance to the roster. Ben Sheppard's shooting, defense, and energy were exactly what the team needed. He wasn't the headline, but he was becoming the glue. The moment that truly put Ben on the map came in his breakout performances late in his rookie season. In games where the Pacers needed depth, Sheppard stepped up with clutch three-pointers, crucial defensive stops, and a calmness that felt beyond his years. Suddenly, the same people who once asked, "Who is Ben Sheppard?" were now asking, "How did the league miss on this guy?" But behind every success story, there's a deeper layer of struggle. For Ben, the pressure of proving himself never went away. He admitted in interviews that he often felt the weight of being overlooked, that he carried the chip on his shoulder into every practice and every game. That chip wasn't bitterness, it was motivation. He wasn't just playing for himself, he was playing for every kid at a mid-major program who dreamed of the NBA but was told it wasn't possible. And that's where his story becomes bigger than just basketball, because Ben Sheppard is changing the way people view the path to the NBA. He's proof that you don't need to be a five-star recruit, that you don't need to play at a powerhouse program, that you don't need to trend on social media to have a shot. What you need is persistence, discipline, and a refusal to quit when the world tells you no. Over time, his role with the Pacers grew. Coaches trusted him with more minutes, teammates relied on his defense, and fans celebrated his growth. His numbers weren't always flashy, but his impact was undeniable. He became the kind of player who could swing momentum with a single hustle play, who could knock down a shot in the biggest moments, and who could set an example for the entire locker room with his work ethic. The long-term impact of Ben Sheppard's journey is already being felt across basketball. His story is inspiring future generations of players who might not fit the traditional mold of an NBA prospect. College athletes at smaller schools can now point to Sheppard and say, "If he can make it, why not me?" It's a ripple effect that challenges the old narratives and opens doors for players who refuse to give up. For the Pacers, his presence is more than just numbers. It's about culture. Teams win championships not just with stars, but with role players who buy in completely, who give everything they have, even when the spotlight isn't on them. Ben Sheppard represents that culture. He represents what it means to put the team first, to play for something bigger than yourself, and to value every opportunity as if it's your last. Looking ahead, Ben's story is still being written. He has the chance to grow into one of the league's most reliable two-way players. His shooting, defense, and toughness give him the tools to last in the NBA for years to come. And if his past is any indication, he will never stop working, never stop grinding, never stop proving that he belongs. The legacy of Ben Sheppard isn't just about where he was drafted or how many points he scores. It's about what he represents. In a league obsessed with flash, he represents substance. In a culture that rewards hype, he represents patience. In a sport that often forgets the underdogs, he represents the fight to be remembered. And maybe that's why his story hits so hard. Because deep down, everyone can relate to being overlooked, to being doubted, to being told you're not enough. Ben Sheppard turned that pain into power, and now he's standing on an NBA floor proving every single night that the doubters were wrong. His journey is a reminder that greatness doesn't always come in headlines. Sometimes it comes in the quiet grind of a kid who refuses to quit. And years from now, when people look back at the 2023 draft class, they won't just remember the stars everyone expected, they'll remember the kid from Belmont who made the league believe. Ben Sheppard is more than just a basketball player. He's living proof that the road less traveled can still lead to greatness. And that's a story the NBA and the world will never forget.